adventures, among which was that in the 1920s, he had actually toured the music halls as a teenage magician. And in later life, he had a magic trick, a party trick, whereby he would have a card selected, signed, dated, returned to the deck, and he'd take the deck, throw it against the ceiling, the card would leap out of the deck, stick to the ceiling, and everyone would be amazed. And my father thought this was the absolute zenith of magic, the absolute... And he constantly asked me if I would do it, if I knew how to do it, could I learn how to do it, and I never got round to it. And rather sadly, last year it was a bit too late because the old boy died. Trying to bring it down, but as I was going through his house and clearing out the attic, I found this, which is my grandfather's 1920s performance case. And I'm going to borrow this chair, if I may.
That's great. It's the only spare one. I'm delighted.
The only spare one.
£7.50 for that.
Now, this turned out to be my grandfather's 1920s performance case. And in it, there's a picture of him. That was my grandfather. You can have a look around, pass it on, pass it on. And in it, amazingly, was a journal that he kept during those years. And in it, he describes how he first got into magic. As a boy, he was taken to the Palace Theatre in Manchester to see a man called Nate Leipzig perform. Now, Nate Leipzig was an international magical superstar who, in the 20s, rivaled Houdini.
Wow.
And in his journal for that day, my grandfather describes an effect that Leipzig did, which absolutely bewildered him. And this is what got him into magic, what got him excited. And I would like to try and perform that for you tonight. Now, Leipzig was world famous for doing magic, not with big theatrical props, but with everyday objects. And I here have 2 plastic wine glasses. My God, I've learned that, crash, got bad trick, the hard way. So I've got 2 wine glasses and a handkerchief. I also have a brand new deck of cards in its seal. Now, the hardest part of any magic trick is removing the plastic. So I'm going to just do that for you. But sir, what I'd like you to do is check that deck of cards, make sure that you're happy that the seal's intact, that there is nothing. Check your...
Hang on a minute, I've known him for 40 years.
That's don't ruin it, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah, see? Are you happy with that? The seal's intact?
Yeah.
Seal's intact? God almighty. Hard audience. Anyway, so... This is the first time this deck of cards has seen the light of day since it left the factory. And when a deck of cards comes into the light for the first time, it's in what we call New Deck Order. It's an original name. And what happens is you've got the jokers, so you don't want those. You then have the spades, ace through to king. Can everyone see that? Ace through to king. And then you have the hearts, ace through to king. And then the king's kiss, the king of diamonds. And then it counts down and it goes down to the clubs. And then you get this weird card, which no one knows what to do, so you tend to throw it away. So, we're not going to use the entire pack, we're just going to use the first 10 spades. Now, because it's a brand new deck of cards, they are in order, ace through to 10. And in that order, I'm going to place them in that glass, cover them with a handkerchief, and then I'm going to take the next, the equivalent next 10 cards, the ace through to 10 of hearts. And again, because it's a brand new deck of cards, they're in straight order. But that's something we're going to change. Sir, I would like you to give those a massive shuffle, a vigorous and massive shuffle. I would like you to make sure that you are happy that you've messed those up completely, because once you take 10 cards and you shuffle them, there are 3.2 million possible orders they can end up with, and that's because it's 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6, etc. Are you happy? Is there any way you could know what order you put those cards in?
No idea.
Okay, shall we have a look? So we have 8, 5, etc. 3, 4, 6. Nicely shuffled. Nicely shuffled. And in that order, get rid of the rest of the cards. Now that is your unique order, or at least 1 in 3.2 million. We're going to make it even more difficult. Sir, at the back there. You, yes, excellent. Stay there, stay there. I am going to run my fingers across the top here like this, and I would like you to say stop at any point. Okay, there. Okay, that card there, you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to reverse that card and put it back exactly where you shuffled to. I think that's exactly where it went. So we've now made a 1 in 32 million order because we've multiplied the 3.2 million by 10. Right. So while you were shuffling and you were choosing, no one has been near that glass. You're happy with that. You were watching that carefully. I'm glad. Okay. So watch very carefully. In a second, in an absolute second, the cards, the 5 has come to the front. Now behind the 5 is the 8, if you remember. And here, behind the 5 is the 8. Behind the 8 is the ace. Behind the ace is the 10. Behind the 10 is the 9. Behind the 9 is the 3. Behind the 3 is the reverse card. And you said the 4, the 4, the 6, the 2, the 1. And ladies and gentlemen, in 1 second, all the cards reorder them to your union.